Colston Loveland has a chance to be the next great tight end and an elite dynasty asset available late in the first round in your rookie drafts, with incredible route running ability and a proclivity for the end zone. He can be the kind of player that can dominate for years to come. Playing out of Michigan, he had an elite 3 years and comes into the league at just 21 years old when he's drafted. So, let's take a little look at his tape and see how I found watching him. Colston Loveland doesn't just have one of the elite names in the 2025 NFL draft, but he's one of the most exciting prospects in it as well. Even though if you look at the stat line, it seems a little bit disappointing, as in the last couple of years, he only eclipsed 500 yards and just over 4 touchdowns. But a lot of this has to do with the Michigan offense, and particularly in his sophomore season, they ran the ball an exceptional amount. It was the same accusation we saw at JJ McCarthy coming out last season, that they just didn't throw that often. But when you watch the film, if they were going to throw, they were probably going to throw to Colston Loveland. He is an incredibly young player. As I said in the introduction, he's currently 20. He'll be 21 when he's drafted. But he's already 6'5" and 245 pounds, which is prototypical size for a tight end. And that is a size that he really can play up to, being a plus in the blocking game and the receiving game, which makes him an all-round tight end who is going to be helpful for any team in the NFL. So, watching his film, the first thing that pops is his athleticism, and this is both speed and strength. I think he's very quick off the line, which is incredible for an athlete of his size, but he's also incredible gaining yards after the catch. Less so from shiftiness and more just from being able to power through the opposition, as you'll have seen from the clips at the beginning of the video. The main exciting thing about him is that I think he has a lot of versatility in the way that he can line up. And we saw this all throughout college. He can line up in line, he can line up outside, he can line up in the slot, he can be used in the blocking game, which means he's likely to never have to come off the field. And this is a huge thing for a tight end. We want them to be able to come in and play in all areas of the field and line up all across the line as well. Tight ends who are just able to play in line are going to struggle to see advantageous matchups by lining up outside, and tight ups who can only line up outside is probably a sign that they're not really a tight end, looking at you, Carl Pitts. Then I thought his route running was really fantastic for his size as well. I think he shows a lot of crispness in his ability to get out the line, and I think he shows some variety in the routes that he's able to run, which is exciting as someone that can work all 3 areas of the field. Then the contested catch situations. He has very strong arms and a very big frame, and he is a huge threat in the red zone, as we've seen from the clips at the beginning. I'd like if they could have used him more in the red zone so we could have seen more of this ability, but when he gets into the NFL, I think he's going to be a red zone weapon from day one. If you are enjoying this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and drop a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on Loveland or any of the prospects you're excited to see me scout. This is part of my series where I'm doing 50 rookie profiles in 50 days. I've been loving the engagement so far, but I would love if you could help me out on that journey to 400 subscribers, which we are so close to getting to. But back on with the video. Onto the weaknesses of his game, and I think one of the main things is that he can sometimes struggle to create separation against corners. He is a clear matchup weapon when he lines up out of the slot or when he plays in line, and is able to show that shiftiness and explosivity off the line to gain separation quickly against linebackers and safeties. But when he's lining up outside, you can sometimes see him more rely on that contested catch ability rather than just being able to wiggle out in space and create separation early on in the route. Then I think he needs to work on his run blocking technique. He has a tendency to get bowled over by power rushers a little more than he should, but this is something that he's going to be able to work on in the league. Tight end is the most complicated position in football for a rookie, so it's no surprise if you're not going to be the full package coming straight into the league. The other thing that I'd like him to see is the ability to vary speeds within his routes. I think he has a tendency to rely on that explosivity and go all out straight away. Sometimes the use of tempo can be a great weapon in order to throw off the defender. Then the play strength. And I noticed earlier on that he's incredibly physical, but sometimes he doesn't quite play up to that in a way that you'd like to see him do. And I think he relies on the fact that he knows he should be stronger than everyone. So if he can continue to play up to the play strength of the size, I think this will really benefit him in the ability to continue to get yards after the catch. For my playstyle comparison, I've gone with Sam Laporta. This is someone that we saw as an incredible red zone weapon in his first year in the league, seeing him ranked as the Dynasty tight end 1. That did drop off just due to touchdown regression that, to be honest, we all thought was probably going to keep coming. But he is a plus in the blocking game, and he's a fantastic receiver. So I think this is someone that I can see Colston Loveland playing like. When it comes to projected draft value, he's a mid to late first currently, probably going to go around the late teens, but I can't see any way that he gets past the Chargers in the early 20s. I'd love him to because I think he'd be a perfect fit for my Rams at 26, but I can't see there's any way that he gets there. I think the Colts, Broncos, and Chargers all need a tight end, and with two elite tight ends in this class, he probably doesn't slip past that range. Then, in terms of rookie draft value, in one quarterback leagues, I'd be very interested in taking him towards the back of the first, but I think there's a chance that he slips into the early second round. And then probably the same in superflex leagues. I think there's a chance that he ends up slipping a little bit as quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers get knocked up. But there's a real chance to take some value here. People don't like drafting tight ends in rookie drafts, but if he goes in the first round, which I think he will, and you might have to stash him on your roster for a little bit for him to break out in year 2 or 3, as is normally typical at the tight end position, this is a guy who I think can be elite in the NFL and in Dynasty for years to come. Thank you so much for watching. Please drop a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on Loveland, and let me know if you have him or Tyler Warren ranked higher. Please feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps the growth of the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow, and I will see you next time.